Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today, back this year, for the most anticipated content on my channel that I seem to upload. That is the monthly tier list update. And I really enjoy making these lists because, like, it really brings my community together. And so what I did last year was I basically overhauled the entire list, basically changed the format, and kind of like redid it. Um, and so I decided that like I really like that. So I think it's going to be like an annual thing. At the start of a new year, we're going to change up the tier list. We're going to change up the format and just going to kind of like redo it. And then we can, throughout the entire year with your guys' comments and together we change it, we make upgrades, we make demotions, and it becomes like our community tier list. Whereas this first iteration of the year is kind of more my iteration of it, and then we workshop it all throughout the year together. So before we get into anything, I have to give a big shout out to my guy Ed. So this is the old tier list, and so Ed hit me up through email, and he basically took my entire tier list and kind of reformatted it into and so I'll show you guys what he did. So this is what he sent me, and like I said, so I was looking to revamp the tier list. I was looking to really change the format, and I kind of like this. It's looking pretty cool. And he told me like I'm free to do whatever I want with this, make any changes, whatever. He said it was his Christmas gift to me. So Ed, thank you very much, bro. And so this was like some really good building blocks for the new tier list. So now we're gonna jump to the tier list that I created, and so I basically made a copy of this and kind of just put my own spin on it. So here is now my tier list. So it's all black, and then just like the champion names are the color of their class. I don't know. I think this looks pretty clean. Let me know what you guys think about this new format and everything, and just kind of like the annual reset. But yeah, so keeping this one a lot more simplistic. So we have a top 5 current meta. So this is going to change monthly, and this doesn't mean like the top 5 best champions in the entire game for one given class. No, this is the current meta, right? So it's what's going on right now in game, what makes these champions, in that current meta. And I just think that's going to be better. And then we have the SS tier, S tier, A tier, F tier. So cutting down the tiers, keeping things a bit more simple. And then, so there's no emojis yet, because like I said, I redid this entire thing. So it'd be a lot of work to add emojis as well. And I think we had too many emojis on the last one. So I still have some here. I really don't want to have too many. I feel like 5 is enough, and there's already more than 5 here, and I already cut out some. So let me know which emojis you guys think are the most important for these types of tier lists. And then we also, so this was Ed's, he added this. So this is temporary status updates. So little recycling icons for reworked or buffed. Then we have an up arrow for a promotion, a down arrow for a demotion, and then just a new for a new entry. So I really like these. We're going to definitely stick with those. So yeah, big shout out to Ed. Thank you for just giving me like the building blocks, and I was able to, make my own thing off of that. And I really like the way that it turned out. I feel like it's clean. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, before we get into the list, just the standard disclaimer that, these tier lists are meant to be a rough guide to your journey on Marvel Contest of Champions, when you have some rank up decisions, maybe some Crystal Nexus choices. You can turn to this list and get a rough idea of, what champion you should maybe go with, or maybe what champion you should gravitate towards. But at the end of the day, this game is extremely complex, and everything is very matchup based. So, it really depends. But all right, that's enough with the disclaimers. All right, let's go ahead and get into the list. So we might as well start with the brand new edition. So we only had one edition in December, and that was Onslaught. So man, Onslaught, I genuinely think is the best mutant in all of MCOC as of right now. This guy is unreal. Like, he's just such an insane character. Like, first of all, like his origin story in the comics and everything, like he is the fusion basically of Professor X and Magneto. And it's created this monster, and like it's so well represented in game. I would say his abilities, they flow so well together. His reach, like on his heavy attack, for example, is phenomenal. Like, I don't think I've missed his heavy attack a single time. Like, you throw that heavy attack and it connects. And like, throwing heavy attacks with Onslaught is his bread and butter because that's how you get the long duration pause. With that long duration pause, you know, you can stack up to 20 degenerations and you can keep those infinitely paused forever. And they do a lot of damage. And the crazy thing with Onslaught is he introduced a brand new mechanic to the game called Daunted. So what Daunted does essentially is it increases the damage that they take. So when the Daunted is applied to an opponent, it increases the damage they take during special attacks. So for example, you know, with Onslaught, you get to the special 2, you turn your Neuroshocks into degen. First of all, is those damage types. No one in the entire game is immune to Neuroshock, which he applies. Like, shock immunity has nothing to do with Neuroshock. So it's such a good damage over time effect. So then you turn those Neuroshocks into degen via the special 2. And like I said, you can easily heavy train into the special. So you hit the first part of the heavy, get the long duration pause, instantly throw the special 2, apply all the degens, which normally have a 6-second duration. But again, if you heavy weave combo, which is a bit of a skill ask, then you have these 20 degens paused, again, infinitely, as long as you keep the heavy attacks up. And then the way that works with the Daunted is then you just throw special 1s, and his special 1 animation is super duper long-winded, so it takes a lot of time, and that's really good for Onslaught because the entire time that he's using that special 1, the Daunted is increasing the degeneration damage that they're taking exponentially. So like during your special 1, which again is long-winded, the degen just ramps like crazy and you just watch the opponent melt. Like it is unreal. And for example, in the current Battlegrounds meta, Onslaught, he's, I'd say, the best. You know, like we've seen Werewolf by Night, you know, cooking. I made a video with him. I'm sure you guys have seen other videos. You probably used him. You can use a 5-star. It's fine. In Celestial, a 5-star Ascended Werewolf is good enough right now. Like, he's nuts. And Tiger, she's ending fights in 20 seconds. But I would say, objectively speaking, all around, Onslaught is the #1 champion for the current Battlegrounds meta. Because on attack, he's easily like top 5. And then on the flip side, he's like easily top 5 defenders in the entire game right now too. So like, he's just an absolute monster of a champion, man. An absolute monster of a champion. And yeah, I genuinely believe Onslaught is the best mutant in MCOC, which is so good because the mutant class was one of the worst classes in the game. I think it was the worst. But now I don't even think it's the worst. Like literally one champion can change the entire way that I look at a class. Like it's great. Like Onslaught, man, he's just, the mutant stocks are just going up and up and up. And a pro tip here: if you guys are getting close to your next Titan Crystal, which you probably will when we get the Crypt rewards for the Necropolis, you might want to save till February because the Titan pool is going to get updated again and Onslaught will be added. And I think you should be added with White Tiger and Bullseye, brand new 2024 champions. So I highly recommend saving for the next Titan pool to get a chance at 7-star Onslaught. That's what I'm going to do. Like, for my own personal, speaking for myself here, you know, I already have a 6-star, rank 5, Ascended Onslaught. You know, that's as high as he'll go as a 6-star. But I still want the 7-star, and I would still absolutely rank up the 7-star because, like, he's that good. You know, eventually, I would, like, there's not that many characters in the game right now that I want to take to rank 3, which is the highest level. You know, there's probably, like, less than 10 champions. In Onslaught, he's at like the top of the list for champs I want to take to rank 3. Not to mention, he also has the highest prestige in the entire game. Like, Onslaught is just unreal, dude. I cannot say enough good things about him. He has so much utility. There's so many different types of fights and matchups that he can take. For example, his medium and his light, his heavies, they don't make contact. So, you know, that allows him to fight Korgs, Atumas. Like, it's just so much stuff baked into his kit. I love him. Like, honestly, if he would have came out sooner in 2023, you know, I might be saying he was the best champ all year. But because he came out like at the very end, it's hard for me to say that, without having his rebalancing go through and just like months of practice with him and everything. But like, he's arguably the best champ in 2023. I still need some more time to really be like confident in that, but like, he's really good. So that's Onslaught, just making the biggest possible splash on the brand new tier list. All right, let's go ahead now and just go from the top to bottom and talk a little bit about the new list. So we'll talk about the top 5 current meta. So I really like this. So it's gonna only be 5 champions in here. But yeah, it's gonna update, based on a number of factors: the Battlegrounds meta, Alliance War, whatever new relevant endgame content is out. Just like what's going on in game right now. So in the science for the top 5 current meta relevant champions, in my opinion, here we have Scorpion. Now, Scorpion is just an absolute animal. In the previous Battlegrounds meta, I uploaded a video showcasing him taking Nick Furies, Korgs, Killmongers, Atumas, Onslaughts, Maestros, like you name it, Scorpion's taking it. Like it was unreal. In the last meta, he was the best attacker. In this meta, he's top 5 for sure, because 2 of the best attackers in the current meta, which we talked about, are Tigra and Werewolf by Night, and they can't fight Scorpion. So that actually makes him a really good defender to slow down those massive nukes. And then on the flip side, Scorpion can literally end fights in one special 2 in this current Battlegrounds meta. Just go parry, medium, build your debuffs, drop special 2, and with the power shield, they just die. He does a burst of like 100, 200,000 damage. It's just unreal. Like, Scorpion just keeps on proving himself to be the best science champion in the game, and he has one arm tied behind his back because he's only a 6-star, and he's still the best science champion in the game, in my opinion. He's really proven himself in these last 2 metas. It's just unreal. So yeah, Scorpion, just cannot say enough good things about him. Then we have Titania, who is, man, Titania is nuts. Like, she kind of, before, I was taking Korgs, Killmongers, that kind of things with Scorpion, I was doing it with Titania. Titania can totally take Korg, Atuma. Like, there's really not much that Titania can't take. She's just such an amazing champion. Unfortunately, in the current Battlegrounds meta, she's just not really, built for it. She doesn't have damage over time. Same with Hulk. Titania and Hulk are 2 absolute monstrous 7-star science champions, but they're just not really built for the current Battlegrounds meta. Hulk, on the other hand, though, he is a very good defender, dude. Hulk is a scary defender. One slip up and you're dead. Or if you're not dead, you lose more than half your health, because he hits so hard. If you slip up on his special 1, guess what? You're stun locked and you're dead. If you, not paying attention when he triggers that unstoppable passive, when he triggers his mode, he's going to combo you into oblivion. You're dead. Like, he is a scary guy. And even if you don't make a mistake, block damage still adds up. He's nuts. Then we have Spider-Ham, who has truly proven himself. And I think Spider-Ham has been one of the best champions as a 7-star. Basically, like, before Spider-Ham was a 7-star, some people talked about him. They say he's a good champ. I had him in a high tier, but like, I never really thought about him or really ranked him or wanted to rank him or wanted him in my deck that much, Then he came out as a 7-star, and we also saw him at the Battle Realm Brawl in the tournament, and he was just doing unreal things. And even in the current Battlegrounds meta, where he doesn't have damage over time, he can still work. But at the end of the day, he's also a great defender. The pig is super annoying to fight against. Those evades, the unblockable. He can be very annoying. And then, of course, we have Photon, who is, one of the top 5 best defenders in the game, I would say, right now. And yeah, she's crazy on defense. And not to mention, she's also a good attacker. I don't know. I'm assuming she's not that good for the current meta on attack, but again, she always has a place on defense. So yeah. And then we have, the SS tier here, which is great. We got the likes of Silk, Spot, Human Torch, Morbius, Cassie Lang, Quicksilver, Overseer, Joe Fixit, Mr. Negative. Then we have the S tier. These are still phenomenal champions. Jessica Jones, Mortal Abomination. Mortal Abomination is actually doing a fantastic job in the current Battlegrounds meta. My rank 4 you know, has taken down 7-star rank 2s, like, no problem. Like, he's cooking. But yeah, all right, let's go ahead and move on now to the Cosmic class. So, for the top 5 current meta, here I have, you know, Hercules. Hercules just, you know, he's always going to be a meta, top 5 meta relevant champion in the entire game because he's just the most broken champion in the entire game. Then we have Hulking, who's not the best for the current Battlegrounds meta, but, you know, he can make stuff happen. He gains power when he gains his personal buffs. So even though he's not able to gain power from just, you know, hitting the opponent or getting hit, he still has a way to kind of get around. He can still get some specials off, and he can still work. And at the end of the day, Hulking always has that place on defense. And so Gallon, same kind of thing with him. He's not the best for the current meta. He will be much better for Safeguard. Gallon does bypass Safeguard. But however, Gallon, I actually took him out of my deck, but then I put him back in because there's champions like Penny Parker, who's a big problem in the current Battlegrounds meta because, you know, you can't just hit her block and break it because it's power shield. So you're doing 0 into her block. You're not taking it down at all. But Gallon, you know, he can just hit her block, get his charges, drop a heavy, Harvest is going to kill her instantly. So, you know, Gallon always has some relevancy and always going to be in the top 5 current meta, I think, unless we see some more really crazy Cosmic champs. But, yeah, at the end of the day, same with as Hulkling, Gallon will always have a place on defense. You know, he's never a bad option. He's, you know, he's a decent defender pretty much always. Then we have Hyperion. So Hyperion definitely going crazy with the current meta, you know, for Battlegrounds, all about damage over time and polka dot power. But even without the damage over time, you know, Hyperion, he still gains power from his power gain buffs. And then that paired with the polka dot power gain with the incinerates, his power gain is like doubled. And you're just throwing so many special, and you're just watching the opponents melt. Hyperion, I'd say a top 5 attacker in this meta. He's just, he's going crazy. I have a 6-star rank 4 in my deck, and he's been doing great work. And the final current meta relevant Cosmic champion I have up here is Maestro. And this is just for defense, purely defense. You know, Maestro, again, one of the top 5 best defenders in the current meta right now in the entire game. So, of course, he's listed there. And then we have, in the SS tier, we got Cosmic Ghost Rider, you know, phenomenal Cosmic champ. Null, incredible. Adam Warlock, awesome, just came out of 7-star. We got Vox in here, man. I'm a big fan of Vox. His look especially. I don't have him, unfortunately, as a 6-star, 7-star, nothing. I'd really love to pick him up. Yeah, I think Vox is so cool. And then we have Venom. Dude, Venom, just such a beast. You put a 5 or a 6-star Venom relic on him, and you just watch the bleeds go burr, and it's nuts. So that's Cosmic. All right, let's go ahead and move down to Mystic. So, you know, of course, we got the boy Absorbing Man in here. You know, one of my favorite Mystic champs in the entire game. Just so insane. So Werewolf by Night, he's not in here. He probably should be, though, because he is in the current meta. He's pretty nuts. You know what? Yeah, I think we'll swap out Absorbing Man for Werewolf by Night right now. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Because in the current meta, yeah, Absorbing Man is really going crazy. All right, there we go. Or did I say Absorbing Man? In the current meta, Werewolf by Night is really going crazy. And Absorbing Man, for the current meta, you know, he's not doing a ton. I don't even think he's in my deck. Just not really heavily boosted right now. But Werewolf by Night is, like we've talked about in this video already, like top attacker, top 3 for sure. I'd say like top 3 Tigra, Werewolf, Onslaught. Like they just go nuts. The one thing though that was heavily boosting Werewolf by Night was the moon was full. So when the moon is full, he starts with 3 of his Lycan Trophy charges, and then, you know, once it gets to 10, he goes into the mode. So he was able to basically, by the time he got to his special 2, he was entering his Lycan Trophy mode and dropping big fat special 2s and just ending fights. Now that the moon is not full, by the time you get to your special 2, you're at around like 6-7 charges, so you're not quite there in that mode, but your special 2 still rips. It's sometimes just taking 2 special 2s now to kill. But yeah, when that moon was full, he was going crazy. But yeah, he's still so good. Still one of the best options. It's like if you draft the Werewolf by Night, that's basically a round win as long as you use it correctly. And the same exact thing can be said for Kushala. You know, I'd say she's like the 4th or 5th best attacker. Her and Hyperion are probably 4 and 5. Kushala, man, she's ending fights in like one special 1. You know, so she doesn't gain like any power normally through polka dot power gain, but through her own unique Mystic Dispersion, the way it works is she doesn't benefit from Mystic Dispersion in the traditional sense of, when a buff expires, she gains a burst of power. Instead, it's when the opponent gains a buff, she gains power. And then the more points in Mystic Dispersion increases the power that you gain. And she applies her own buffs. So, you just start the fight, parry, heavy, spam a bunch of lights, you get enough power, get special one, pop it, nullify your buffs, apply Incinerates, and it's ticking for like 20,000 damage per tick. That's 40,000 damage per second, and the next thing you know, the defender is just dead. They're just dead. Like, it's absolutely unreal, man. Kushala is just so good, and I feel like Kushala will always be good. Like, she's built by Kabam DLL, beautifully crafted kit. The only negative thing I can really say about Kushala is she's not much of a defender. But when you're that good on attack, like, it's okay. You don't need to be a defender when you're that good on attack. So, it's okay. But that's literally, like, the only negative thing I can say about her. Other than that, it's nothing but positives. I'm so happy to pull her and both the Werewolf as 7 stars. I have Kushala at rank 2, and the Werewolf will be going to rank 2 very soon. Then we have Juggernaut. So Juggernaut, he did get reworked, buffed a while back now. I still felt like including the icon, just because, like, Juggernaut, I'd say, easily top 5 best buffs of all time. I maybe even say top 3. If I had to say a top 3, Juggernaut and Hulk would definitely be in there, and probably Magneto. As like 3 of the best buffs of all time. So yeah, and Juggernaut and Hulk are 7 stars. So yeah, dude, Juggernaut's just insane. He's always going to be a meta-relevant champion. He's not the best for the current Battlegrounds meta. He can still kind of work for it, and he can kind of work for Safeguard as well. His numbers in red on the special 2 bypass the Safeguard damage caps. So, you can make him work. Then we have Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is fantastic. Always going to be a good defender. And he's not bad in the current Battlegrounds meta, with that shock he can apply. I was watching one of Brian's streams, and he was using Doom, and, like, he got to a special 2, and, like, he just ended the fight. Like, the Incinerates were ticking so hard. It was pretty good. That was actually the only time I've seen Dr. Doom in the current meta, and yeah, he did a great job. And then, of course, we have Tigra, like we've talked about. I'd say Tigra is the best attacker in the current meta without the full moon. And just purely attack. She's ending fights in like 19 seconds. Like, it's unreal. But for me, I ban Tigra every single match. So for me, she's not really relevant. And I originally had Sasquatch in here as well. Maybe I should put Sasquatch in there as well. But yeah, Sasquatch has been an absolute MVP for me in the current Battlegrounds meta. And you're probably thinking, like, yeah, Sasquatch, he's always a good defender. But that's actually the opposite. I mean, yes, he is always a good defender. But in this current meta, he's going crazy on attacking. He applies Ruptures. That gives him the power. And with Power Shield, just massive special 2s. Like, it's crazy. For the next meta of Safeguard, he's not going to be, quite as good. But, of course, he's going to be insane on defense. Because Safeguard, with the biggest health defender in the game, it's going to take some time to kill him. So yeah, excited to see Sasquatch in the next meta on defense. Then let's go back down to the Mutant Class here. So yeah, we have Onslaught leading the charge. We have Archangel up here. Archangel always going to be a meta-relevant champion. He's a staple in pretty much everyone's Battlegrounds decks. He has some of the best DPS in the entire game. Just unreal damage. If the opponent can be bled and poisoned, Archangel's probably going to melt them. Then we have Sunspot. So, dude, Sunspot is going crazy. You get those Incinerates, just drop 1 special 2, and, like, the opponents are just dying. And Sunspot, he's always that crazy Battlegrounds nuke. Of course, the next meta Safeguard is not going to be doing as much, but, yeah. Sunspot, crazy champion. I actually don't have Sunspot at all as a 7-star. So, for me, he's one of my auto bans. Like, right now, there's 3 champions that I look for in Battlegrounds for my top 3 bans, and that is Tigra, Sunspot, and Photon. I'll ban those 3 champions over any other champions in the entire game right now in my opponent's deck every single match, because those 3 champions, Tigra and Sunspot, are just so powerful on attack. If my opponent drafts them, they basically win a round with them, and I don't have them in my deck. So just auto bans, and then I don't have to worry about it. Then we have Domino. Domino's always going to be a super meta relevant defender. At the end of the day, she's a BS defender, and she can actually find a way to work in the current Battlegrounds meta. An alliance mate of mine, he fought a Baron Zemo, who's a pretty good defender right now with Domino, and he crushed it. Came out with full health because Domino's critical failure actually is counting as a damage over time, and she's able to gain power that way. And then Bishop, dude. Bishop just goes crazy. I recently awakened my Bishop. Actually, I don't think we should have Bishop in here right now, though. We're gonna change that. I think we should put Apocalypse in here right now. I was actually watching, again, Brian's stream, and I've seen some other people use Apocalypse as well, even against me. And yeah, he's just going nuts in the current Battlegrounds meta because, a big strategy is to place defenders, that shrug debuffs. Or cleanse debuffs, or something. So for example, Kingpin, he's a pretty good defender because it's hard to stick debuffs and then gain power and build and use specials to do damage with power shield. But with Apocalypse, opponents suffer minus 100% purify ability accuracy. So that is such an insane ability that Apocalypse has, and then he has easy access to damage over time on his heavy attacks, those bleeds. Yeah, man, Apocalypse, he's just going crazy. And, Apocalypse, he's a sneaky defender. He can catch you for sure. But yeah, those are our mutants. Let's go ahead and move down to tech. So we have a bunch of the recycle icon here. So Red Skull just got buffed. He's looking really, really good on defense now. I took him to rank 5. And yeah, I've just been using him on defense, and he's been doing a great job. Plus, he's also a domino counter. He can kind of work in the current meta on attack. He gains power from charging his heavy attack, but it's not really that good. More of a defender for sure. And, we have Iron Man who got buffed. I think someone said, I call it a remake. Someone's like, you should call it a remaster. I kind of like that. So yeah, Iron Man's been remastered. And we should also be seeing his rebalancing info this month. Him and Gladiator both, which Gladiator is sitting down in the A tier. So really, really keen to see his rebalancing. I'm hoping he goes from A tier to SS tier or to top 5. That would be incredible. But yeah, we'll see about that. And then we have Shocker, who also got rebalanced. And dude, Shocker looking like a insane champion right now. Unfortunately, the current Battlegrounds meta is damage over time and stuff. The next one will be Safeguard. So that's like terrible for Shocker, but I'm sure in future metas we're gonna be seeing insane stuff from Shocker. I'm really disheartened that I didn't pull him as a 7-star from the event, from like 6 or 7 of those Gifted Guardians crystals. Sucks. He's the only champion that I didn't get at all, and he's so damn good now. But yeah, then we have for the top 5 current meta. So we have Shuri. So Shuri is always, I'd say Shuri's always going to be in this tier. Like, she's always going to be in the top 5 current meta just because of how good she is. Plus, Necropolis exists now. She's one of the best champions for that. She is a phenomenal defender as well in Battlegrounds. She cannot be parried. Plus, she has that whole untouchable thing, which kills time. She deals block damage. It adds up. Her specials are long-winded, create a lot of space, a little bit annoying. Hard to dex every single part of it. And, she is an amazing attacker. She's a domino counter. She has easy access to damage over time, so she's able to work in this meta. She's able to work in pretty much every single meta. Shuri, I have a rank 3, 7-star Shuri. My first ever rank 3. It's just incredible, incredible champion. I can say a lot of the same for future Ant-Man. This guy is amazing. And in the current meta, he can kind of work. If he applies that disintegration. I used him one time. I lost, but I took down the defender, which was a Lady Deathstrike, who's a pretty good defender in the current meta. So he can work. But at the end of the day, right now, I more so see future Ant-Man as a defender. And man, oh man, does he go crazy on defense. With all of his glancing, his ability to stun you if you do a light combo ender. His special attacks are kind of annoying. They can easily clip you. And I think for the next meta, for Safeguard, future Ant-Man's just going to be so annoying. So I'm very interested to see him on defense there. Then we have Nimrod. Then we have Hulkbuster. Dude, I'd say Hulkbuster is my most wanted 7-star tech champion. I really wanted Shocker, but I'd say I want Hulkbuster slightly more, dude. I've seen Karate Mike has shown so much crazy stuff, especially in Necropolis with Hulkbuster. It's just unreal. In the current Battlegrounds meta, he can work too. He has easy access to shock on his heavy attacks. This guy's special attacks hit so hard, even without Power Shield. I think a heavily underrated playstyle with Hulkbuster is his special 1. His special 1 hits so ridiculously hard, dude. I love spamming them. You also apply a stun debuff with it. This is so much fun. And then, of course, we have Ghost. Ghost, arguably one of the best tech champions we've ever seen. And, for example, current Battlegrounds meta, she's great for it because it's polka dot power gain. Ghost has no damage over time effects, but all she has to do is phase with her Awaken ability, and when hits are missing her, she's just gaining power. And that with Power Shield, you can end fights in one special 2 with Ghost, and it's it's very, very fun. It's very, very fun. And yeah, I was saying earlier, Penny Parker, really, really great defender in the current meta. I could actually see her being up here maybe instead of Nimrod. Yeah, but yeah. All right, let's move on to skill though. So. And yeah, this is the last class we got to talk about. So, in the SS tier, we got Aegon, of course. Aegon really proved himself, I'd say. Actually, yeah, no, I think this is a good spot for him. Yeah, I'd say Aegon really proved himself once again when it came to the Necropolis. Aegon, he's just the brute force way to get through Necropolis, which, is not everyone's style. But for me, that's not exactly my style either. But at the same time, it kind of is. And I had a really good time with Necropolis. I'm really glad that I did it the way that I wanted to, which was to mix it up. I started Necropolis with no Aegon, no Kate Bishop. First path, I brought in my Nick Fury, my rank 2 Shuri, and, it wasn't too bad. It was all right. And then, I did rank up Kate Bishop, who we have, in the top 5 current meta. I'd say, in my opinion, right now, the 2 best skill champions in the game, Nick Fury and Kate Bishop, for sure. I'm not sure which one I'd even say is better at this point. I haven't given it a ton of thought, but it's pretty darn close, dude. Kate is just unreal. And so, I took her up, and I did 3 paths of the Necropolis with her and kind of Shuri on my team, and I had an absolute blast. I learned how to play her. I got good with her, and now that's like a big addition to my arsenal when it comes to this game. But then, for the last 2 paths, I was kind of just wanting to get it done with. I just didn't really feel like going through skillfully with Kate and Shuri. I just wanted to brute force my way through, smash through, and be done with it for the final 2 paths. And that's exactly what I did with Aegon. And I would say those last 2 paths with Aegon were the most fun. Not to say the other paths weren't fun. I enjoyed myself on every single Necropolis path, but just smashing with Aegon, seeing those big yellow numbers, it's so satisfying, and not worrying about the nodes or whatever the defender can do. You just smash. You just smash, smash, smash. It's just fun, dude. That's some of the most fun I've ever had in this game. Just smashing through Necropolis with Aegon, with also a new playstyle that I never utilized before, which was basically instead of heavy charging, getting hit, and then getting the Furies, you basically just right after you're done hitting the opponent, you can even stop your combo short, let them hit you while you're unstoppable, and then immediately pick your combo back up, and boom, that's the Furies, and then that's the big damage. And you can just keep doing that as soon as those Furies fall off. It's so much more seamless. You are taking more damage doing that, but it's so much faster and seamless and fun. And you go at breakneck speed and you just smash, and it's just such a good time. So yeah, Aegon, man, it's so great to see him being relevant again. And then, yeah, so we have Nick Fury, who I said, arguably the best skill champ, him and Kate. And Nick, he's one of the best defenders in the entire game. And he always, always, always will be because of the way he works. He has those 2 lives. So especially in a place like Battlegrounds, where, time is a big important factor, having 2 lives, 2 health pools is so insane. And of course, in that second health pool, he gets the big Fury. He goes stun immune. Also, Nick Fury is good on attack for the current Battlegrounds meta as well, because he has access to those big bleeds if you're in deep wounds. You can end fight super duper quick with Nick. So Kate Bishop, she's not really great for the current Battlegrounds meta, but for Alliance War, everything else, Necropolis in the game right now, she's definitely cooking. And then for the next Battlegrounds meta, she's going to be really good for Safeguard. Just one special 1, you're going to apply a fat cold snap, and you're just going to see so much damage. And in Safeguard, I think Kate's going to be top 3 attackers for the next Battlegrounds meta for sure. I can't wait to put her back in the deck. Then we have Chilth. So, dude, Chilth, I'd say, is a fairly underrated champion released in 2023. I pulled her as a 7-star, very luckily took her to rank 2, and man, oh man, has she been cooking. If you guys have a Chilth and you're going through the victory track right now in Battlegrounds, you should definitely have her in your deck. And here's a fun fact, she can take Maestro in victory track. Once you get to the Gladiator circuit, it's a bit trickier because of the Hurt Locker node. But yeah, with Chilth, you basically just want to be spamming your medium attacks because those are guaranteed bleed applications. And then your special ones, it applies some more bleeds. And yeah, you just want to spam those special ones. Again, in victory track. With Hurt Locker, then you have to alternate, and it's not nearly as good. But yeah, I would say in victory track, Chilth was my #1 Maestro counter. And not that she was like the best, putting up like the best times or anything, but she was my best Maestro counter because people didn't expect me to use her against Maestro. Like, I seriously, it was like in a row too, like 3 or 4 matches in a row. My opponents probably didn't think I had a Maestro counter. They put him down on defense confidently. I used Chilth and I won every single round. Then once I got to the Gladiator circuit, I tried it, and with Hurt Locker, it didn't really work. But yeah, in the victory track, dude, Chilth was just cooking my show. Shout out to FinTech because he actually showed me that matchup, and I'm so happy he did. Like, it was a big help, and I recorded like Chilth cooking my show like five odd times. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. She absolutely cooks him. Then we have Black Cat. So Black Cat is really good champion. Really good champion. And like the weird thing is, like, I really wanted Black Cat in the game for a very long time. She is, I'd say, my favorite female Marvel character. I would say that, yeah. I love Black Cat in the comics. Like, I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan, right? So, but I always wanted, the way I see it, like, you know, Spider-Man's a dog. Like, dude, he has dated so many different female Marvel characters. Like, but he has a laundry list. He's a dog. But, like, for me, his true love, Peter Parker's true love, is Mary Jane. For me, that's the way I see it. You know, I always want him to end up with Mary Jane, but that's Peter Parker. Spider-Man, on the other hand, like, him and Black Cat, like, they're so perfect together. They're just so perfect together. I love Spider-Man and Black Cat together, but I love Peter and MJ together, which gets a little complicated. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can have an open relationship, all 3 of them, or something. I don't know. Maybe that's even a thing. I have no idea. But yeah, dude, I love Black Cat. And in the current Battlegrounds meta, she is cooking. You know, those bleeds on her special 2, they just instantly cook the opponent and they die. I've seen Black Cat taking like Maestros, taking just all kinds of different fights. It's very impressive. I'd love to get a 7-star Black Cat Awakened. I wasn't the biggest fan of her playstyle, I guess, when she came out. But yeah, if I got a 7-star, I'd love to give her a try. I would. And then we have Kingpin, because, you know, Kingpin is a phenomenal skill champion. And, you know, like I said earlier, a really good defender in the current meta because of Power Shield, because he shrugs those debuffs. So he can be a very big problem. I mentioned earlier that my top 3 bans are Sunspot, Tiger, and Photon. If my opponent doesn't have all 3 of those in their deck, let's say they have Tigra and Sunspot, and, for example, no Photon, then, you know, I'll ban Tiger, Sunspot, and then with that extra ban, I'm looking for Kingpins. If I have a spare ban and they have like a rank 5 or an Ascended Kingpin, that's where that last ban goes. Because he's super duper annoying. I don't have a ton of counters in my deck. So yeah, Kingpin, very annoying. And then I'd say an honorable mention for the top 5 current meta is Baron Zemo. So, you know, same kind of thing as Kingpin on defense. You know, he has the cleanse, and then he'll root you, you know, if you apply too many debuffs. So he can be a very punching defender. I think I'm going to be taking my Zemo up to rank 5. The only thing kind of holding me back from that is Bullseye is confirmed for coming out in January, this month soon. So he's probably going to be skill, if I had to guess. So, you know, I could get him as a 6-star from the early access bundle day 1 and just take him to rank 5, which would be very tempting. So I don't know, but I think I still am going to go Zemo. I have like 2 skill catalysts, so I'm not that far from being able to take him up to rank 5 as a 6-star, but Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much gonna do it for the new list. I'm very, very curious to see the comments on this one and hear what you guys are thinking. A little nervous too, but so please don't be too mean. But yeah, I do hope, really do hope that you guys like it. And yeah, for the rest of the year, with your guys' comments, we're going to be making changes to the list, doing promotions, demotions, and we got those new icons as well, the up arrow, the down arrow. Once again, shout out to Ed for kind of inspiring this new format. And yeah, Onslaught making a massive splash as, in my opinion, the best mutant champion in all of MCOC, the best mutant champion we've ever seen. I just highly, 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 highly recommend Onslaught. And yeah, if you guys are close to a Titan, like I said, save for that next pool in February. In about a month from right now, he should be in that Titan pool. So it's going to be super hype. And like probably Bullseye and White Tiger as well. So, and then some other champions as well that Kabam's probably going to select. And who knows what they could be. For example, some of the other champions that Kabam has just selected were, I think they put in Hyperion. I think they added Spider-Ham for sure. So, you know, some really good ones. They also put in some duds, in my opinion, which would be Jabari Panther. I'm not a fan of her at all. I think that's a dud. So in a Titan pool. You know, like, I'm not saying Jabari's, like, terrible, but I don't think she's Titan pool worthy, in my humble opinion. But yeah, I suggest saving. I'm going to be saving. I'm not opening any Titans until the pool changes. And if you're curious which champions are leaving the Titan pool, we can talk about that real quick as well. So it'll be, off the top of my head, it'll be Silk, Kindred, Hyperion, actually, yeah, I know it all. Lady Deathstrike, Danny Moonstar, and Crossbones. It'll be those 6 champions leaving, but we can pull it up here just to confirm. Where's the Titan at? Titan keeps moving. Yeah, it'll be those bottom 6 champions. So Crossbones, Silk, Kindred, Hyperion, Lady Deathstrike, and Danny Moonstar. Those 6 will be cycled out of the Titan into the basic pool in February, and Onslaught, Bullseye, White Tiger, and 3 other unknown champions will be added. And that is when I will be opening my next Titan. So yeah, guys, that is going to go ahead and do it for the very first tier list of 2024, fully revamped, redone, and yeah, please drop a comment. Give me your feedback. What do you think? Do you like the list? Do you think it's ugly? Do you think it's clean? What do you want to see me change? Who do you think should be promoted, demoted? What emojis, emoticons should we stick with? I know I don't want too many. So yeah, I really appreciate all the feedback. Feedback's super important on this tier list more than any other one because it's going to be a big impact going forward for the rest of the year. So please leave some feedback. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the channel. You guys are seriously the best, and I will keep uploading a new tier list every single month for the rest of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.